in the American College RICP program, we did a lot of studying regarding flooring and bucket strategies. And that's just a couple of the strategies that are there. But talk about flooring for a minute, and then we'll talk about bucketing. But what does it mean to set a floor when it comes to retirement planning?
Yeah, I mean, a floor is just a minimum level of lifetime income, right? So, almost every American today receives some form of guaranteed lifetime income benefit. Almost all Americans receive Social Security. If you don't, you might have a public pension benefit. It rounds up to 100%. Okay, here's the thing though. For a lot of folks, like that's not enough to cover their essential expenses. And so I think a really important place to start when it comes to retirement strategy is how much income do you need every month, every year, pick your frequency, to feel comfortable in retirement? Because the problem we always have is we don't know how long we're going to live, what the market's going to do. Flooring or just creating that minimum level of income for life, I think it helps people better understand how to enjoy retirement because they can worry less about covering their essential expenses if the markets misbehave or things happen.
Very good. And so a lot of times we will use an annuity as a third floor. You've got Social Security, like you talked about, you've got pensions, but we're finding out, and I have about 1,500 clients, it's about 5%, maybe 10% have a pension, a traditional pension. And a lot of them, as you know,
I mean, I've heard of them. I don't have one.
We're on our own, right? The yo-yo economy, you're on your own. We've got to create our own pensions, and I use annuities to do that. That's why I own 7 of them. But, I've got other buckets too. There's my 401k. I've got stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I own real estate. But the floor for me is making sure the guaranteed lifetime minimum of what I need to pay all my basic expenses is going to be there no matter what. And I'm in the building stage. Other people are in the turn the faucet on and let the water come out stage. But we want to make sure that by setting a floor, you've got income that you're never going to run out of no matter what, no matter how long you live, and no matter what circumstances you face in life. So now combine that with a bucket strategy to talk about what bucketing is and how that works.
So, bucketing think of it as like time segmentation, right? You're just kind of matching the risk or the allocation in a portfolio to when you're going to use it. And I describe buckets as kind of very behavioral. I actually have I recall a situation once where I was talking to someone about how much risk they should take in their retirement portfolio. I regaled them with why you need to have on-market risk and, on and on about, and maybe it was a recommendation of like a 50-50 portfolio. They just couldn't do it. They said, that's just too risky. There's no way I can afford that kind of risk. Now, fast forward, you just cut the portfolio up and you say, hey, you've got the next 5 years in cash. You've got, years 5 to, 15 of this balanced portfolio. Then you've got a lot of equities later on. They're okay with that. Now, mathematically, it's actually a 50-50 portfolio, but I think bucketing, at least from my perspective, is a great way to kind of relay to someone exactly how they're going to fund their retirement over time. Now, you can fill buckets in different ways, right? You could use MYGAs for like the first, 5-year period. You could use annuities potentially for that longer period. For me, bucketing is just kind of breaking out the assets based upon when and how they're going to fund a goal.